Good Tuesday morning. Let's start in the United States of America with a Fred chart. Now, what this indicates, well, I'll just tell you what's on the chart first. What we've got in that green line is a flattened down version of the CPI, the inflation index. And the blue line is the 10-year Treasury in relation to that flattened out CPI. Okay, so it's how much more you'll get on a 10-year Treasury over inflation or under inflation. Yeah. In the 70s, you could see everything went all haywire. And it went below that green line. But things were so completely out of control, it was hard to say that they were choosing something, the market were choosing, or the people that were buying treasuries were choosing something. It was just that inflation was out of control. But you can see since the 80s that number's come down and down. Less money you get per annum for owning a treasury over the rate of CPI inflation. And now it is negative. And the reason I'm showing you this chart is this has happened slowly. Everyone knows that that line's come down slowly. CPI isn't out of control. It's flat enough. People know where it's going. The market, or people representing money or investing money, are happy now to invest in a 10-year treasury and accept that they will lose a certain amount of that money each year. Yeah, and that's a very important thing, because this hasn't come on quickly. This is a slow, carefully thought out strategy that the market, it will accept a loss per year for investing safely. Right, off into the world. EU economy. Irish recovery grinds to a halt. Ireland's fragile economic recovery has ground to a halt, with new figures showing the economy did not grow in the second quarter, raising fresh questions over Dublin's ability to exit its international bailout. Now, there's nothing particularly blow-up or spectacular here. It's just the first in a series I'm going to show you that the good things that have happened since the end of the Great Recession are kind of all petering out. Ireland's done really jolly well, but it could not obviously flourish in a non-flourishing environment. This is the latest market flash France PMI. Sharpest decline in French private sector. The key points: flash France composite output index falls from 48 in August to 44. Service activity falls from 49 to 46. Manufacturing from 4 to 42 from 46. France's manufacturing output 39.8 from 45. These are absolutely shocking figures. France is in its own amount of trouble, and so for rescuing Italy, Spain, etc., is who's going to do it? Germany, of course. This is the latest IFO business climate that was out yesterday. Three things tracked on this chart: business expectations, assessment of business situation, and IFO business, industry and trade. This is the most important thing that I see that the Germans follow as their projector of how things will be. And it's just a very clear chart. You can see the Great Depression fall down there, the trunk pointing downwards. There was an attempt at a double dip, but they came out of it, and now it's gone down further than the last attempt at a double dip. Everybody out there is attempting this sort of shape of chart. Either they've got that try to double dip in, or it just goes up smoothly after the Great Recession, and now it's coming down. Right, Argentina. Yeah, Argentine banks get squeezed by state lending campaign. Now I'm going to a slightly different angle here, but it'll all link up in the end. Argentine banks are reluctantly complying with state orders to make cheaper long-term loans to small businesses, but they worry about shrinking profits and more aggressive government meddling down the road. two things to note here. Argentina and Iran still are the worst state of the world. And this is another way of doing it. The government can come in and force banks to lend. But naturally they don't want to lend because their analysts say it's not worth lending. Big government can come in and do things, but it doesn't make things any less dangerous unless it's done brilliantly, and governments don't do things brilliantly. This is from a UK newspaper, The Guardian, this one is. It's self-explanatory by the end of the second paragraph, so let's go into it. Now, I have no doubt that the chief executive of Tesco did not get to where he is today without a shrewd grasp of business. Unfortunately, like many business executives, he apparently thinks that he has the answer to the British economy's problems too. So you can imagine the chief executive of Tesco has spoken large about how the government should get out of this problem. He tells us that families across Britain are trying to live within their means. The coalition government must do the same. The most important question of our time is how government can improve people's lives without simply borrowing more money. Okay, the standard sort of stuff that we hear all around the world. That's the austerity call. The Guardian columnist, well, the answer is that it can't. There is no alternative for a government in this position but to borrow its way out of recession until it restores the economy to a decent rate of growth, at which point it can then begin to reduce the deficit and begin to live within its means. This is also correct, in my humble opinion, but again, governments will have to do an awful lot of the right things in the right order at the right times to make all this happen, which they're not going to be able to do. What I'm trying to say is here, government is the only way out, but the government is not going to do it right, even if they do it at all. So we are in deep shit. Right. Let's finish here with another angle. You can see the desperation out there to get out of these problems. Give Greece more time, says the French Prime Minister. France has said that Greece should be given more time to meet the terms of its international bailout. I'll go to the bottom paragraph. Speaking in an interview with the French news website, "We can already offer Greece more time, on the condition that Greece is sincere on its commitment to reform, especially tax reform." In other words, it's okay, cool, give them more time. And that is another answer. The debts are there. The debts are out there. The debt holders need to be given more money so they can pay their debts. They need to be given an awful lot more time so they can maybe pay the debts in the future, or they will default on their debts, making biff, baff, boff, lots of problems as they default. The answers are there. Basically, what will happen, of course, the governments will encourage the central banks to print as much money as possible so they get away as easily as possible. It's always happened that way, and it will happen that way again. But it's this tension thing between the people that say austerity and the people that say, print some more money, it'll be all right. And that's what we see all over the world. But neither the austerity or the printing money really takes care of the fact that there is too much debt out there in the world. That's it. Bye.